Hello everyone and welcome back to another exciting edition of Boyographic, the show in which I, Matt, the Game Boy, will talk you through the highs and lows of the Game Boy library, one card at a time. This week we're carrying on with Mega Man, so it's on to Mega Man 4. Mega Man 4 is definitely a game that deserves the large amount of praise it's received over the years. It was voted the second best Game Boy title in 1993 by Nintendo Power, only beaten by Link's Awakening. And even in more recent reviews, Nintendo Life gave the 3DS eShop re-release a 9 out of 10. Why is this game so revered? Yet again, it's all down to the fine folks at Minakuchi Engineering. Having long since cut their teeth on Mega Man, Dr. Wily's Revenge and Mega Man 3, it was safe to say that Minakuchi were familiar with the trials and tribulations of the Blue Bomber. In fact, it could be argued that they went above and beyond with their third game in the series, as Mega Man 4 is regarded as not only one of the best Game Boy Mega Man titles, but one of the best in the entire series. Sure, the usual formula is in place. 8 bosses from 2 NES titles, in this case Mega Man 4 and 5, a new Mega Man killer, and a fight against Wily. But Mega Man 4 brings so much more to the table than this. This is the first game in the series to introduce a shop mechanic to Mega Man that would later be seen in 7, 8, etc. In killing various enemies throughout the levels, Mega Man is able to collect P-chips and exchange these for items in Dr. Light's lab, who incidentally here gets his correct translation as Dr. Wright. The items range from extra lives and E-tanks to new items like super tanks that refill all items in health, as well as the auto charger, a device that automatically takes weapon energy and fills the weapon with the least amount of ammo. This is something that's always really annoyed me that didn't happen by default in the series, so I'm really glad that Minakuchi put it in. While the ability to buy E-tanks really does make the game a lot easier, it allows gamers put off by the game's difficulty to take comfort in the fact that, despite dying a lot, they aren't completely wasting their time, but are actually just grinding P-chips to make the game easier in the long run. The Robot Masters this time around are Toad, Pharaoh, Bright and Ringman from Mega Man 4, and Charge, Stone, Crystal and Napalm from Mega Man 5. It's worth noting for those who don't know that the bosses in the Mega Man titles are largely designed by fans of the series in Japan, who still to this day submit their ideas to Capcom for boss contests. With the game's 5th installment on the Nintendo Entertainment System, or Famicom at the time, Inafune stated at the Rockman 10th anniversary celebration that he had a difficult time getting the look and feel of these bosses approved, and had to re-illustrate them several times. Something I've always thought showed through with the designs of Charge Man and Stone Man, but I think we're all in agreement. Napalm Man looks freaking awesome. Why mention the game's art direction? Well, because Minakuchi really went above and beyond with this series' visuals. Not only in the level design, but they also include a lot of cutscenes and even revamp the classic grid boss system into a visual delight that shows larger, high-detailed shots of each Robot Master. The game overall looks very sharp, as you'd undoubtedly notice across its various stages. The level design, while taking the feel of the NES titles, is mixing it up in new and interesting ways, even if some of the stages like Charge Man and Ring Man's feel a little padded. The difficulty is just about right in this installment, toning down some of the annoyances of Mega Man 3, but it is certainly still challenging. And if you do die a lot, well, the game actually has a hidden easy mode built in. Fail to clear a stage a few times and you'll be beamed back to Dr. Light's lab for a Mega Buster upgrade that pretty much doubles your damage. If you don't want to play with it, it's fine. You can simply reset the game, as it isn't carried over like items and P-chips in the game's very vigorous password saving system. Taking a leaf out of Mega Man 5's book, each stage contains a hidden letter that, unlike in Mega Man 5 when you collected the letters Mega Man and a V for 5 to unlock the Blue Bomber's friendly foul beat, collecting his name will simply do it this time round. However, like in Super Mario Land 2, where players had to collect coins to enter Wario's castle, the player must collect the letters W-I-L-Y for a second set of Robot Masters to enter the nefarious Doctor's domain. Fortunately, they're not too hard to find, but can make you repeat some levels in order to get them. In your hunt for these letters, you can also stumble across areas with Proto Man hidden in them, who acts like Eddie but gives a higher quality of item, like E-tanks and extra lives as standard. Between the Robot Masters and final Wily battle, the player must defeat the game's newest Mega Man killer, Ballad. While, in my opinion, he's the easier of the 3 Mega Man killers, he still looks pretty damned impressive. His speed and power will get even experienced players trapped in a corner if they're not careful, and his second form sees him don some pretty badass shades. And as we all know, sunglasses make you even cooler. What's not cool, however, is the escape level you need to clear after defeating the bespeckled Ballad, as it requires some serious use of the Ballad Crusher to destroy various bombs, which naturally can blow up in your face if you're not careful. The game's music is also solid as one could expect, and I think it's probably the best score that I've heard in the series so far, with ironically Stone Man's theme being my favourite, despite hating the boss with every inch of my being. Which is great because you have to fight the bugger twice. Yes, that's right folks, you heard me. Mega Man 4 also includes a boss rush at the end of Wily's castle. Unlike this instance in Wily's Revenge, where you needed to defeat 4 new Robot Masters, Mega Man 4 sees you kicking the asses of the 8 Robot Masters you were already bested to get to Wily, which, while is a long-held series tradition on the Nintendo Entertainment System, always felt like filler to me, especially as the entire Wily space station level is almost naught but boss fights already. When you finally reach the Good Doctor, it seems this time round he's come prepared, in a giant robot too big for the screen. His first form is easily to deal with by randomly dodging and using the Power Stone, but fighting its second form, the robot's head, can be pretty tricky, as not only do you need to time your jumps to fire in its mouth, but it also charges at you head on, an attack that to my knowledge is unavoidable and can punish your health pretty severely. Fortunately, Wily's third and final form is a walk in the park by comparison, and after some pretty heavy story beats and the self-sacrifice of Ballad, Mega Man escapes the space station to complete the game and bust another day. Overall, despite this game's high price, Mega Man 4 is a worthy addition to your game collection for both Mega Man fans and Game Boy collectors. If you don't have the means to get the European or US release, then pick up the Japanese cart if you're a DMG purist, or on the Nintendo eShop if you want to get your hands on it right now. And I must admit I had a hard time finding this game myself, and would probably still be looking for it if not for Dave, a fellow Game Boy collector over on Twitter at HornsHighDaveH, who I traded for this game. Cheers buddy, I'm massively in your debt. And that brings us to the end of another Boyographic, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please subscribe and share this video with some others who you think might be interested. If you did enjoy this video, you can also check out some of our others in this series called Boyographic, where I show you the highs and lows of the Game Boy library one cart at a time every Friday. You can also check out our Boy Curious videos, where I look at some bootlegs and oddities for the system, as well as All the Glory, which is a series of videos where I play through a game, cut out all the deaths, leaving you with none of the faff, but all of the glory. Until next week, Game Boys and Girls, where I'll be back with Mega Man 5. Game on.